Hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode of The Squad Room, episode 32. It's a minisode, so it's going to be short. It won't take up too much of your day, so let's get after it. First off, go to thesquadroom.net/episode 32 for notes on this show. Recently, I completed my first ebook, which will be available to members of my mailing list soon. So, if you're not already, get over to thesquadroom.net and get signed up for the mailing list to get that thing in your inbox shortly. I wrote it over the course of a few weeks after re-listening to the first 30 episodes of The Squad Room. I've had some amazingly talented people on the show, and I wanted to identify the top 10 lessons I've learned so far. Frankly, I got a lot more out of it, but it would be a much longer book if I wrote them all down. The process of writing that book, even a short ebook, is a creative process. It requires a different writing style than we use in report writing and a focus on clarity and content. Some days I'd write several thousand words in a short session, words moving from my brain to my fingers to the keyboard with lightning speed. Other days I'd stare at my screen, seemingly unable to speak English. I began to wonder what the difference was, and eventually I figured it out. At least I think so. On days where the words flowed like water, my life was abundant. What I mean is, on those days, my life, or rather my perception of where I was in my life, created a sense of gratitude and fulfillment that then overflowed onto the page. On those days, I was mindful that I was in a good marriage with a wonderful woman, that I had 2 healthy, beautiful children, and that I had an opportunity to test myself physically that day, that I'd had a position at work that allowed me to grow and in turn mentor and guide others. The gifts of life were abundant, and in turn, my creativity was abundant. On the days where I struggled to write, my thoughts weren't on the abundance available in my life. None of those things, my wife, my kids, or work situation had changed, but I wasn't able to access them as easily. On those days, other issues were on my mind. Bills, to-do lists, worries. My abundance now seemed scarce. It's hard, maybe impossible, to create from a place of scarcity. My workouts are the same way. There are days when I am fueled, focused, and fired up to throw some weight around, to push my limits. My energy is abundant. But there are also days when my energy is scarce. Poor sleep, bad diet the night before, stress about money, lots of things can make my energy scarce. It's always on those days when my workouts suffer or are less than ideal. You cannot create fitness from a place of scarcity. At work, I lead a squad of talented individuals. Now, those individuals are humans. Humans sometimes make mistakes, even well-intentioned ones. When my life is abundant, I tend to succeed in interactions and in my leadership. But when my energy, attitude, and attention and discipline are depleted and scarce, I almost always make mistakes. And you cannot create a career or be a leader from a place of scarcity. At home, when relationships are good and validated, when I feel heard, when I feel needed, when I feel loved, my life is abundant, and I have the ability to return those feelings. But when my resources like energy and empathy, sympathy, attention, patience, when those are scarce, tension builds and then the tempers rise. You cannot create a good marriage from a place of scarcity. So my question to you is this. Where in your life right now are you trying to create something from a place of scarcity? Is it in your work, your nutrition, your fitness, maybe your mindfulness, maybe your marriage, your kids, your finances? I'm betting it's in there somewhere. So the challenge for us becomes a question of how do we create those positive relationships that give us those positive results? Well, they come from a place of abundance. So today, I want you to find 3 attitudes, beliefs, assumptions, or paradigms that need to change in order for you to move from a mindset of scarcity to a mindset of abundance. If you want to see my 3, head over to thesquadroom.net/episode 32, where I share mine. Thanks for listening to the show. Please consider leaving a review on iTunes. Subscribe if you haven't already. I want to thank the sponsors of this episode, SB Tactical and the iCombat Active Shooter Training System. Check out their system at sbtactical.com, where the iCombat Pro pistol is already on sale. Thanks for listening. Stay safe and take care of each other.